Sir, good morning. Hope you're well. Gonna have a lot of stuff to crank out today. Hoping to get a lot of pieces on the chassis all together. This way tomorrow we can get the engine and transmission mated together. And we can get this little Samurai together. Let's get it. Sir! Making some progress. Got the whole front end together. Front end's all together. Calipers all loaded. Acetone cleaned up my rotor. I made some little tabs right here from my brake line. Ooh, I gotta pull that through. I'll do that after. I slide the hose through that little grommet. Yeah, welded on little tabs for my brake holder. Looking good. I'm fixing to get the chassis off the jack stands. Ordered some orange DOT brake line, air brake line, you know, for the bags. And now I've got to set the back up. I'll probably just set the back up now while it's up in the air like this. It'll be easier. I can sit on my stool. One thing I want to point out is this wheel has a 1.5 inch spacer. This one doesn't. I got to put that one on. Probably gonna rock these wheels if I do go, you know, to mini nats. So we've almost got a complete chassis. Waiting on some stuff to dry. Finally putting our rear disc brake setup on. Put our shocks in. Well, temporarily. I got to buy some bolts. Got some tons of cleaning up to do. Then we've got our calipers drying. Mother Nature is taking care of that for us. I wanted to paint everything, even though it's temporary. I just don't feel like having all the stuff rust. This winter, after I use it, you know, the Samurai a bit, I'm gonna pull everything back apart, get it all powder coated. Obviously I'm pressed for time. We're coming up on summer, well, spring right now, but you know, in a month or two it's gonna be summertime, and who the hell wants to be working on this thing when you can be driving it? So this is the quickest and easiest thing to do, is obviously put it together and get some use out of it, have some fun with it. All right, so let me get my bracket. I have kind of a weird rear disc brake setup. So the flange is GM, the calipers are Ford, oddly enough, but it's a kit you purchase through Moser. When I ordered my axles, I said what I needed. He says, here, this is what you need, and So the problem I was faced with was I didn't compensate when I set the frame up. I didn't compensate for the calipers hitting the axle, so the flange that the caliper is mounted to had to be refabricated. So now this here is the flange you would use. It slides over the top of the axle. You put your 4 bolts in. This holds your bearing in, which holds your axle in. And then your caliper mounts off to about 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, which would have hit the corner of the notch on the frame. So I reached out to Danny. I said, Danny, I need your help. He made me the same style bracket with the caliper clocked at, I want to say it's like 4 o'clock. Yeah, probably about 4 or 5 o'clock, which you can see. I should not have an issue with bleeding the calipers, because that would be something you would run into. Here's my bleeder. It's up pretty high still. I don't think I'll have an issue getting the air out of the lines. If I do, Moser said you have to take the caliper off, obviously rotate it, get it high enough elevation to get the air out of the lines. Fingers crossed, we'll see. That was a huge hiccup. But now the entire back of the suspension is complete. Shocks, bolts, 4-link bars. I'm missing 1 bolt. I don't know how that happened. I got to swap this bolt out. all the bolts, everything's nice and tight. So now, front end's all together. I picked up my part for this. I got to install that. I've got to install a bunch of cotter keys on the passenger side. I left that whole side blank because so I wouldn't forget. Now we are fixing to put the transmission together with the engine. That is a 20R Toyota motor. This is a 22RE transmission. This is out of a 89 and up Toyota, and I know this because of the throwout bearing. I had an issue, so I ordered a clutch kit for this is obviously all brand new for the engine, and this is the throwout bearing it came with. And I'm like, how the hell does this go on? This thing don't work. This ain't gonna work. So long story short, when I pulled this transmission out, there was a collar that attaches to this and a little spring clip that holds it onto the shift fork. Well, I couldn't find it, and it was MIA. So thankfully my buddy at O'Reilly's, Mr. J, was able to order me the correct one, and now I'll be able to mate the transmission to the engine and install the engine on the chassis. Huge piece to the puzzle is out of the equation now, and I've got my buddy from O'Reilly coming over this weekend. He's gonna plumb up all my brake lines, my fuel lines. We'll knock that out. So we're almost there. Fingers crossed, we're almost there. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? We have a rolling chassis. Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, it has absolutely been one of the most struggling roads to get the Samurai where it is today. By no means is it perfect. By no means is it a tier 1 build. I don't know, I made that up. I built this Samurai as a hobby, as an enthusiast car builder. I built this for myself to have fun with, to go on cruises with the family, and I will drive the living shit out of this here Samurai, I promise you that. With that being said, I'm gonna pull the ripcord. That's gonna end it for this video. We'll see you guys on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. Take care.